Why are we still pretending governance is about speeches, manifestos, files, committees, permissions, and departments? Why are we still acting as if a government is successful because it announces projects, launches schemes, cuts ribbons, holds meetings, creates dashboards, and tells citizens to wait? The real purpose of governance is not paperwork. The real purpose of governance is necessary action. A road is broken, fix it. A drain is blocked, clear it. Water supply is failing, restore it. A city is expanding, plan it. A neighborhood has no park, no public space, no breathing room, no community life. Build the conditions for human life. A contract is delayed, expose the delay. A contractor is failing, replace him. A department is hiding behind procedure, make the outcome visible. That is governance. Not endless discussion, not administrative theater, not the slow death of public life under the weight of files, signatures, permissions, excuses, and institutional inertia. And this is where AI becomes dangerous to the old governance model. Not dangerous because AI will become some fantasy dictator. Dangerous because AI will expose how primitive, slow, corrupt, fragmented, and excuse-driven many governance systems actually are. AI will not merely digitize government. That is too small. We already have portals. We already have online forms. We already have dashboards. We already have complaint numbers. We already have apps that tell citizens their issue has been registered while nothing changes on the ground. That is not transformation. That is bureaucracy wearing a digital mask. The real shift begins when governance moves from file movement to necessary action. That is the phrase I want you to hold clearly, necessary action. Because bureaucracy asks, who approved this? Necessary action asks, what needs to be done? Bureaucracy asks, which department owns this? Necessary action asks, who is suffering because this is not fixed? Bureaucracy asks, where is the file? Necessary action asks, where is the result? Bureaucracy protects procedure. Necessary action protects life. And once AI systems become deeply integrated into municipalities, cities, planning departments, public works, water supply, electricity distribution, waste management, roads, contracts, mobility, and urban expansion, the old excuses will begin to collapse. A broken road will no longer be just a complaint. It will become a live infrastructure asset with history, responsibility, cost, quality, contractor record, repair frequency, citizen feedback, traffic load, drainage dependency, accident risk, and failure probability. A blocked drain will no longer be a random local issue. It will be part of a larger stormwater model connected to rainfall, solid waste, road slope, encroachments, cleaning schedules, flood history, and future risk. A water supply failure will no longer be a vague shortage. It will be connected to pipe pressure, leakage, demand, illegal connections, reservoir levels, repair cycles, household impact, and distribution imbalance. A failed contract will no longer hide inside paperwork. It will be measured against ground progress, quality evidence, public complaints, geotagged inspection, cost deviation, timeline slippage, and long-term maintenance outcomes. This is why AI will reframe governance, because it can make the last node visible. And the last node is where governance usually fails. At the top, the announcement is beautiful. At the middle, the budget exists. At the department level, the file moves. At the contractor level, something is promised. At the field level, something is half done. At the citizen level, life remains broken. That is the gap AI will expose, and once citizens can see that gap clearly, the old model loses moral authority. The future municipality will not be judged by how many projects it announced. It will be judged by how many lives it improved. It will not be judged by how many meetings were held. It will be judged by whether the drain actually worked during monsoon. It will not be judged by how many roads were inaugurated. It will be judged by whether those roads lasted, whether they were safe, whether they integrated with drainage, footpaths, lighting, public transport, and actual human movement. It will not be judged by whether a city was called smart. It will be judged by whether the city became livable. That is the real meaning of smart governance. Not screens, not cameras, not command centers, not decorative dashboards. A city induces unnecessary suffering. A city is smart when people do not need influence to get basic services. A city is smart when public money cannot easily disappear into administrative fog. A city is smart when contracts are tied to outcomes, not just paperwork. A city is smart when citizens do not have to chase departments to solve problems departments should already know exist. A city is smart when roads, water, drainage, waste, power, transport, housing, parks, schools, hospitals, ecology, and community life are planned as one living system. Because a city is not a collection of departments. A city is an organism, and most cities today are not treated like organisms. They are treated like construction accidents. Real estate expands first, roads chase later, water supply struggles after that. Drainage is remembered when flooding begins. Public transport arrives after congestion becomes unbearable. Parks are treated as leftover land. Footpaths are treated as optional. Children are pushed into apartments and screens. Elderly people cannot walk safely. Workers lose hours every day in traffic. Families live far from daily necessities. The city grows, but human life shrinks, and we call this development. But is it development if people are more exhausted? Is it development if children have no play space? Is it development if the elderly cannot cross a road safely? Is it development if you need to travel across the city for school, hospital, work, recreation, community, or basic services? Is it development if the air is toxic, the commute is brutal, the water is uncertain, and the public space is dead? AI will force us to ask a better question. Not how big can a city become, but how livable can a city become? Not how much construction can be approved, but how much human life can be supported. Not how much land can be monetized, but how much community can be created. This is the second major shift AI will bring, the restructuring of the urban model itself. The future city cannot be one massive, tightly packed, unhealthy, unmanageable human pressure zone. The future city has to become a network of smaller, complete, human-friendly communities. Think about that. Instead of one giant city where everyone travels endlessly from one end to another, you create distributed communities with self-contained daily needs. Each community has schools, clinics, parks, gardens, local markets, public transport nodes, childcare, elder care, creative spaces, cultural spaces, co-working zones, sports areas, local governance centers, clean energy systems, water resilience, waste systems, and human gathering spaces. Then these communities are connected by roads, metro, buses, electric shuttles, cycling paths, walking corridors, and digital services. This does not mean isolation. This means intelligent distribution. People should be free to move, but they should not be forced to move for every basic need. That distinction is critical. Freedom of movement is good. Compulsory movement for survival is bad. A humane city gives you access. An inhumane city makes you commute for life itself. AI can help redesign this because AI can simulate population growth, traffic flows, water demand, energy load, school capacity, hospital access, green cover, heat islands, waste generation, flood risks, emergency response time, and the real pressure created by every new development approval. So when a new housing project is proposed, the question will no longer be, can it be built? The question will be, can the ecosystem support it? Will there be enough water? Will traffic collapse? Will schools be overloaded? Will the drainage fail? Will emergency vehicles reach? Will there be parks? Will public transport connect? Will people live well, or will they simply survive inside more concrete? This is how governance becomes intelligent, not by stopping growth, but by making growth answerable to life. And this is where AI becomes not merely a technology, but a civilizational mirror. It will show us the cost of bad planning. It will show us the cost of corruption. It will show us the cost of delay. It will show us the cost of forcing humans into daily stress. It will show us the cost of treating cities as revenue machines instead of human habitats. And that is why old governance systems will resist it, because many people benefit from fog. Contractors benefit from weak inspection. Departments benefit from fragmented responsibility. Politicians benefit from announcements without delivery. Middlemen benefit from citizen helplessness. Corrupt networks benefit from opacity. Bad planning benefits from citizens not seeing long-term consequences. AI threatens all of this because it can connect the dots. It can show which contractor failed repeatedly. It can show which ward was neglected. It can show which road was repaired 5 times because quality was poor. It can show which drain was not cleaned before monsoon. It can show which public funds were spent without visible results. It can show which department delayed action. It can show which project was announced for optics, but not maintained after inauguration. This is not just efficiency, this is truth becoming operational. And truth becoming operational is dangerous to every system built on manipulation. But let us also be honest. AI governance can go wrong, very wrong. If AI is used only for surveillance, it becomes dangerous. If AI is used to centralize control, it becomes dangerous. If AI is used to punish citizens without transparency, it becomes dangerous. If AI systems are black boxes, they become dangerous. If poor communities are undercounted, they become invisible. If private technology vendors control public systems without accountability, governance becomes captured. If data is biased, incomplete, or manipulated, AI will automate injustice. So the future cannot be AI ruling humans. That is not the point. The point is AI assisting human governance by removing administrative blindness, delay, corruption, fragmentation, and excuse-making. Human beings must define the values. Human beings must protect dignity. Human beings must ensure fairness. Human beings must decide what kind of city is worth building. Human beings must audit the system. Human beings must have the right to challenge automated decisions. Human beings must remain sovereign. AI should not reduce citizens to data points. AI should expand citizen power. A citizen should be able to see what is happening in their locality. A citizen should be able to track public works. A citizen should know who owns the problem, when action is due, what has been done, and whether the resolution is real. A citizen should not have to beg, bribe, chase, plead, or depend on political connections for basic services. That is the real promise. Less helplessness, more visibility, less paperwork, more accountability, less department-to-department blame, more direct action, less survival friction, more human dignity. And this is why AI will reframe governance engines. Because governance as we know it is too slow for the complexity of modern cities. Cities are growing faster than administrative systems can understand. Climate pressure is rising, water stress is rising, traffic stress is rising, population density is rising, mental stress is rising, infrastructure is aging, public trust is weakening. The old system cannot keep responding after the damage is visible. Governance has to become preventive. It has to predict where flooding will happen before the flood. It has to repair infrastructure before collapse. It has to identify water stress before scarcity becomes political. It has to detect traffic overload before approving more construction. It has to protect green cover before heat becomes deadly. It has to plan schools and clinics before communities become underserved. It has to design cities before chaos becomes permanent. This is the shift from reactive governance to anticipatory governance, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The real future is not government as a building. It is governance as a living operating system, a system that senses, learns, repairs, adapts, coordinates, corrects, protects, executes, and serves. But the heart must remain human. The values must remain human. The purpose must remain human. The question is not whether AI can make governance faster. The question is whether AI can help make life more livable. Can it reduce unnecessary suffering? Can it reduce corruption? Can it reduce commute fatigue? Can it reduce broken infrastructure? Can it reduce administrative helplessness? Can it make cities healthier, more distributed, more creative, more ecological, and more human? That is the real test. Because the future of governance is not about controlling citizens better. It is about serving citizens better. It is about replacing excuse-based governance with outcome-based governance. It is about replacing bureaucratic inertia with necessary action. It is about replacing tightly packed urban stress with distributed human communities. It is about replacing political theater with measurable delivery. It is about replacing administrative fog with operational clarity. And maybe that is why this conversation matters so much. Because AI will not only ask what work humans should do. AI will ask what kind of society humans should live in. Do we want cities where people spend their lives commuting, coping, complaining, adjusting, and surviving? Or do we want cities where communities are designed for human energy, creativity, health, connection, and dignity? Do we want governments that manage perception or governments that execute necessary action? Do we want bureaucracy that protects itself or governance that protects life? This is the choice ahead, and the systems that learn to act, correct, and serve will define the future. The systems that hide behind files, excuses, corruption, and outdated planning will slowly lose legitimacy, because once citizens see what is possible, they will no longer tolerate what is unnecessary. AI will not simply automate government. AI will force governance to become honest about its purpose. And that purpose is not control. It is not paperwork. It is not political theater. It is not departmental survival. It is the intelligent organization of human life. That is the governance engine of the future, and everything else is bureaucracy waiting to be dissolved. If this perspective made you rethink what AI can really do beyond jobs, apps, content, and automation, then like this video, share it with people who think seriously about the future of cities, governance, leadership, and human life. Subscribe to the channel for more sharp, practical, and future-focused explorations on AI, society, leadership, psychology, and human transformation. Comment below with your own view. Do you think AI can make governance more honest, more transparent, and more execution-driven? Or do you think it will become another tool of control? I want to hear your perspective, and follow me on my LinkedIn newsletter where I go deeper into these ideas with sharper frameworks, longer essays, and more direct conversations on the future we are walking into.